partner with the Wave Group, a real estate consulting firm. We work with brokers, MLSs, variety of technology companies, delivering technology solutions to the industry and developing strategic planning for a lot of strong businesses around our industry. In any case, today we're going to have a webinar that's going to talk about the next generation of school content, and we're very happy to have with us Charlie Panoff from Onboard Informatics, who's going to talk a little bit about the product that they're about to bring to market. Our relationship with Onboard started a number of years ago when they began to deliver a lot of cutting-edge solutions that were picked up by numerous franchise brands and other large brokers that allowed them to communicate lifestyle information to people who were shopping for properties. So we published a paper in 2010 that was titled 3 Bedrooms and 2 Baths Just Doesn't Cut It Anymore. So if you've ever had the pleasure of relocating from one city to another, and sometimes even geographically within the area where you live today, you understand that the local knowledge, which is so important to the lifestyle that you're going to have when you move to that new area, is often a challenge to get an understanding of. Aside from using word of mouth to do your research, there's not a lot of online resources available to you. And it's one of the things that has differentiated a lot of today's leading portals that have supported consumers in making better decisions as it relates to the place where somebody may be relocating to. So finding a home has really become sort of we call it a three-legged search stool today. So obviously the traditional habits of searching property details, like how many bedrooms and baths do you need, what's your price range, those types of things are all still critical and fundamental to the search process. But lifestyle needs have become much more important as delivering a neighborhood context for what your life is going to be like when you move to this new neighborhood. Just having the right home doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fit up naturally with your lifestyle. And if you have a child like I do, a 10-year-old or whatever, certainly the schools in the area are very important to you. Our own story is that the grammar school where my daughter would attend is not a great school, and she has had to be put in private school for her elementary education. But we have an excellent choice of 2 junior high schools and one of the top senior high schools in the state of California. So, you kind of have to realize that depending on what kind of school requirements you have as a family, there are lots of trade-offs. But if I wanted to go out today and try to understand what homes that fit my search criteria are located within the boundaries of a school district where my child would go to school, that's almost impossible. Gratefully, the folks at Onboard have brought a tool to the industry that allows people to search by school boundaries. So with that introduction, I'd like to invite Charlie Panoff to show the new development that they've done in this area so that we can appreciate the opportunities that abound for real estate brokers today. So Charlie, are you with us?
I am. Thanks, Victor. So I guess that was a great introduction. Thank you again. I'm just going to dive right in here. As you mentioned, this kind of is the next generation of school content. We've been providing school content along with a lot of other different data sets, which I'll get into in a little bit, for the last 12 years. But just recently, we've launched a new product, and that new product is actually our school attendance zone boundaries. But before we dive even deeper into that, just to put a little bit more color to the background of where this is coming from. The Internet touches about 92% of all home purchases today. However, unlike most other online purchases, people are not just buying a home online. They have to interact with an agent at some point, whether that agent is someone they know through a personal connection or they have fallen to some call to action on the agent's website or a brokerage website. At some point, there becomes a human interaction. Now, the typical home buyer searches for about 4 months to find that home. However, they only contact one agent to assist with the sale. Over those 4 months, it is highly unlikely that that home buyer is going back to the same website over and over. But, like I said, they're only contacting one agent. How is it they're going to get to that one agent? Now, A little further, 69% of home shoppers who take action on a real estate brand website begin their search with some sort of local term, such as a neighborhood name, a school district, or even if you want to add in commute time as a local term. Becoming a neighborhood or a local area expert is something that every agent strives to do. However, having the online presence to display the information that they already have in their head and can convey once that face-to-face meeting takes place is a very difficult task. That's where someone like Onboard would come in. A lot of people demand things from real estate websites these days. For instance, according to Inman, home buyers want a good school district with more than most home features. For instance, 62.4% of home buyers would sacrifice a pool or a spa. Over 50% would give up accessibility to shopping, and most would pass up having a bonus room in their home to be in a better school district. Over 40% of home buyers have school-aged children. Displaying this information helps indicate the educational environment and opportunities in an area. Now, over 1 million home buyers use schools and school districts as a strong factor when purchasing a home every year. Not having enough school information on your website not only does not give the home buyer the information that's going to get them to that call to action to contact one of your agents, but it's also just not giving you enough information to have you stay relevant in search rankings and getting those visitors to your site in the first place. So, who is Onboard? As I mentioned, for about 12 years, we've been using different types of data sets to help people not only attract more visitors to their website, and by websites, not only brokerage sites, but also office-specific websites, agent sites, as well as integrating things into different CRM tools. We can help add content to mobile apps with any type of GPS-based search, as well as using our content on social media apps, and really get a three-pronged approach to attracting more visitors to your website. 8 of the top 10 real estate brokerages in the country trust Onboard to help solve their user engagement and conversion challenges, along with some of the largest companies in the world. Just to mention a couple, Bloomberg Business Week uses us to help with some of their editorial content, as well as SAP, which is probably the largest data company in the world, uses our stuff to help show exactly how their systems work with high levels of data. Now, I seem to have been frozen here for a second. All right. Now, who's using this stuff along with these larger companies, such as the major franchisers in the country? As I mentioned, brokerage sites, all national, regional, and single-state brokerages have used us. For instance, Long & Foster is a great example of a multi-state regional brokerage, whereas Houlihan Lawrence is a brokerage here in the New York tri-state area, focusing mostly in Westchester, that has used us for many years. Brokers not only use us to attract people to their website, but also as an agent retention tool. As agents start having other opportunities out there, using Onboard content as a way of saying, hey, stay with us because we're using the best and the brightest out there to help gain more business for you, is a great way of keeping those agents in-house. Also, technology companies who are not only providing websites and mobile realty apps, but also providing CRM tools and other plug-in tools for an agent and or small brokerage website, use content from Onboard to really make their product stand out. In addition to all of that, there are plenty of MLS-specific websites with their home searches that are incorporating Onboard data to give a better view of an individual area. Now, as we start talking about a better view of an area, because this is about that next generation of school data, putting aside the other data sets we have available, let's dive a lot deeper into what it is we currently offer when it comes to school information, as well as some of the stuff that we've always offered. Onboard's vast school solution includes attendance zone boundaries for over 70% of the total U.S. student population. We have 79,000 plus great schools ratings, over 125,000 private school and public school details. And when I say details, I don't only mean contact information and the grade levels associated with those schools, but also any type of after-school programs, special needs programs, athletic programs, teacher-student ratio, dollar spend per student, as well as computer per student ratio. Really the most in-depth school coverage you can find anywhere. We have coverage on 18,000 plus school district profiles. We have 780,000 plus parent, student, and teacher reviews that are not just thrown out there, but they're policed regularly by some of our partners, as well as us, to make sure that you're getting accurate reviews as opposed to a disgruntled student putting up something that might be erroneous. We have test scores available for all different types of grade ranges based on an area. Now, Victor, you mentioned that your daughter is in an elementary school. She's 10 years old. In some areas, elementary schools encompass only kindergarten through 3rd grade, where in others it might be 1st through 8th grade. Every area of this country focuses differently on where those grade boundaries start and end. Onboard has the information, so we can really give you the accurate information for your area and help you really position yourself as that local area expert.
So I know you're into this, but you can actually layer the different attendance school boundaries by grade, right? So if I have kids of multiple ages, I'll be able to see like an intersection of property opportunities that will cover the 3 different schools that my kids go to.
That's exactly right, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit in some of the use cases we've put together for you.
Awesome.
Not only are you able to do that by different grade level, but as it says there, we have 130 different data fields available that you can incorporate not only grades, but what else is available. For instance, if you have one child in a certain grade and the second child in another grade, and you have to find out what schools they're going to be going to if they split across that elementary to junior high school boundary. However, one of your child does have special needs, and you need to search for schools that only have the programs available for them. We can filter that out and really give you a pinpointed area to start looking for your new home. Now, moving forward a little bit, just to get into what I say about a boundary. A boundary for us is basically a shape. Now, one of the things you can do is plot that shape on a map, as you see here on the screen. That shaded area is the boundary for a particular elementary school and high school, as well as the middle school associated. It's showing you in that area, these are the 3 schools where your child will attend based on their age. Now, what you can do with these boundaries is exactly what we have on the screen. Show it on a map. You can also have someone search within that boundary, or not even show the boundary, but only show homes on a map that are associated with those schools or the attendance zone. What is Onboard's approach to doing this? Well, we have thoroughly detailed district boundaries. Boundaries are detailed and highly accurate, so it's easy to determine what home belongs to which boundary. Our boundaries are updated every 6 months. You don't have to wait until the end of the school year to figure out where rezoning is going to happen. As it happens, we are aggregating that information and we push an update out every 6 months. Along with that update, we will tell you when the last update of that boundary was. So you can know that if something hasn't changed in 15 years, chances are it's probably going to stay pretty much stagnant for the next few years as your child is going to those schools. Where if it's a boundary that has changed every 6 months to a year over the last decade, you might want to move a little bit closer to the center of that boundary for your home search, just in case. We have interchangeable search variables that allow your visitors to search for schools not just by name, but also by rating, location, and a lot more. We can filter by test scores, taxes associated with different school districts, grade, as you mentioned, having different children in a household in different grades, needing to know where all the children will go as opposed to just one. Different expenditures, as I mentioned, that dollar spend per student, teacher-student ratios, and a lot of other beneficial fields. Now, time to get into a few of the use cases we've put together for you. As I mentioned before, our goal is to get more people to your website, generate new organic SEO growth, and then once they're there, keep them there. As opposed to linking out to a third-party site that focuses on education, even though their information is phenomenal and they do cover exactly what you need, sending someone away to another website to show them the information that you could show them on your site really makes no sense to us. We feel if we've worked to get them there, we might as well keep them there and keep them there long enough to convert them to not only become a qualified lead, but do it faster and help them engage in better conversations with the agent that they end up contacting from your site. Here's a problem that we have as an example. Somebody comes and says, I want to be able to capture search traffic when people search for schools. Now, a lot of people are trying to do this. And as you can see, we mocked up this search results page. If I were to search for Middle County School District, I'm going to have the Middle County School District website most likely come up first. After that, I might have some news information on there, as well as some information from one of the educational focused websites, such as greatschools.org, who we have partnered with to allow you to have their content in your site as well. But if somebody's putting in Middle County School District, chances are they want to know information on the school district, and that person either lives there or has a strong interest. They may not be buying a home today, which is why they didn't add homes for sale at the end of that search. However, your website's going to come up on that page if you implement our product properly and allow them to have your name already ingrained in their mind once it comes time to start searching for a home. You can build up to 150,000 unique landing pages on your website using our school information along with the school attendance zone information. You can have a landing page for every single school in the country. You can have one for each individual attendance zone, and as well as the merged attendance zones for different grade levels. For instance, that new boundary that was created for people who are attending a certain middle school and a certain high school, that can give you your own landing page as well. On those landing pages, you're not just showing the boundary. We've associated all of our other data with these shapefiles. For instance, our community information, our local amenities information. You can show not only where the school is and where the boundary associated with that school is, but where are the restaurants in the area? How close is the gas station to that school and or my house? Also, we can attach our market information, whether it's recent home sales or our valuation tools. All of this can be incorporated not only into landing pages, but also into individual listing pages. Another problem someone might have is, I want to tell clients what school a specific house belongs to. Now, as I just mentioned, those landing pages are great. However, you also want to tag the schools to the individual listing page. You can show where the nearby schools are and the school districts. And just imagine for a second you have all the beautiful pictures of the home that you've gotten this exclusive on. And at the end, you have all this information about an area, and you were to show a nearby school that is not necessarily the school in which that house falls for attendance. That school might not be rated very highly for whatever reason. Or the reverse, that school may be a selling point and be rated very highly. However, someone then says, will my child be going to public school 1? Without having the proper attendance zone, you don't necessarily show the proper school on that page. That can become a headache whether the school is highly rated or not as highly rated. Having the ability to say, my child, if I buy this house, will go to this school is an unbelievably useful tool, not only to help people get there by having proper content that's going to give the organic SEO growth that we mentioned, but really showing, without even having an interaction with that agent who does know that information, that my company is at the forefront of this local area and we know exactly what we're talking about. We are truly the #1 expert for our area. Now, something else we've heard people say is, I want website visitors to be able to search for homes based on school ratings. I just mentioned in the last slide that there could be problems in showing the wrong school, whether it's rated highly or not. I may not know the schools in the area in which I'm moving, or on the other side of town where I have to move because I got a new job or whatever's causing this home search. I want to be able to go in and say, show me homes in an area that only show great schools. Now, great schools is a funny term. As I mentioned, we partner with greatschools.org. There's a reason they're called greatschools.org. They show you where the best schools fall. We have their ratings, reviews, and their test scores available, and we can incorporate that into a search. So you can put in, show me schools with only a 7 to 10 rating, or only an 8 to 10 rating within a certain distance of not only an area or a city name, but an actual address. We can then apply that to the attendance zone and say, show me only the attendance zones on this map that are associated with schools of a high rating. Now you're weeding out the schools that I don't necessarily want my child to attend, and I'm showing people all these new options on a map of places where they may not have figured, oh, I should look for a home over there. They were set on going to a certain school because they know it was rated highly. But there are other schools that are also rated highly. And now you've expanded their search and given them more options, hopefully getting you closer to closing that deal with them and selling them a new home. People want visitors to be able to search for a home based on an individual school. I just touched on that. As you put in the school name, you, as I showed before, can plot on a map that boundary and have the listings show up within that boundary. We actually have a listings API, which is our IDX solution that would allow you to incorporate those listings and accurately geocode every single listing to fall within a boundary. However, you may want your child to go to a certain home, go to a certain school, not because of the rating, but because of the school. You may know of a teacher that you like at that school, or maybe you actually got a job at the school and you want your child to go to the school where you're working. We can pull up homes only in that boundary without even showing the map and just give you a list form, all based on the geocoding of individual homes. People want visitors with children in different ages to find a home that matches their needs. Very similarly to what you mentioned before, Victor, we can give you the ability to show multiple zones at a time and shade them on a map, or just give you a list and say, here are the homes that fall in all elementary, middle, and high school grade levels that you mentioned. As I mentioned, different people, or different school districts across the country have different grade levels associated with middle or elementary school. You could actually switch this to ask the visitor, what grade is your child? I have a child in 6th grade and a child in 9th grade. Well, that's going to be middle school here, and it's going to be high school here. These are the zones for these high schools and middle schools, and this is where they cross to make sure that you have a continual education from child to child within the same household. I want people to alert potential buyers when a home goes on the market in a desired school district. As we mentioned before, schools play a major part in a home search. Sometimes they even spark the home search. I can actually think of a situation where school districts were changing in my sister's area recently, and she was considering looking for a new home because she wanted her children to go to a certain high school as they get closer to high school age. There was some talk of the rezoning affecting where they lived. They were not on the market for a new house. However, changing that zoning could have potentially had them look for a new home. It turned out they got to stay where they are, and everybody's going to the same high school. However, being alert on what's going on in the market and knowing when homes are on the market, because you want your child eventually to go to a certain school in a certain school district, is something we can help you do. You can create a notification or a lead capture form on your website for somebody to receive notifications when new properties are listed in a certain school district. And when I say district, I mean attendance zone. Now, I'm sending out every month, every 3 months, even every week, a list of all the homes available in a certain school attendance zone to a potential future buyer. We all know, as we're both pretty much entrenched in the sales world, that having that continual flow of a pipeline and having some sort of waterfall effect take hold really is going to help our business grow. Having continual revisits to your site because you have let people know that there are new homes in the market is something that Onboard is going to help you do. We're not only going to get you the current home buyers, but hopefully we'll get you those future home buyers as well, so you can have your business grow and grow down the line. Obviously, to do so, you're going to have to implement our stuff, so this is the plug for me to tell you how to contact us. And you can email, call, or even visit our website for some more examples, screenshots, and for a lead capture form, like we will help you implement, to get on our list and hopefully get some content on your site. Any questions, Victor?
No, this is excellent. I just a couple of comments that I might want to add before we get to the Q&A session is that a lot of people have been a little concerned about talking about schools because they're concerned about the risks of litigation as it relates to what if somebody thinks that a home is in a particular school district and it doesn't turn out to be, and I guess I would tell you that no matter what, you always have to have the information that indemnifies yourself on these web pages, and of course everybody does that, and really when you get into the process of working with a consumer to purchase a home, you should be qualifying your customers around what's important to them, and if that school district is a key decision-making criteria, you should always confirm the data with the school district, but you guys have a high degree of confidence in this information, so I think that it's really great. So I look forward to seeing this product as it rolls out to a lot of broker websites. I think that what you guys have done here is terrific, and I applaud you. So thanks very much for your time and for sharing this information with everyone today. And if there's any other comments you'd like to make, please make them. Otherwise, we'll get into the Q&A session now and stop the recording.